Okay, so I'm going to do a quick little garden update. What I've got going on here. The growth has been amazing for a while, and so I just want to show you what is happening here in the garden. As you can see, my lettuces are going bonkers. I haven't picked those for a while, but we're eating salads off of them, and I just used some lettuce for burgers last night. As you can see, I've still got a ton over here as well. They really, really need to be picked, but it's been so rainy that I haven't been out here. Anyways, also, I have an empty spot. I'm going to probably plant something else here. I'm not sure yet, but we've got the second sowing of carrots that I did. Again, the leeks are getting big. The kale over here is getting large. I've got my potato buckets. They're still doing good. But check out these sweet peas. They're starting to actually climb up, and I have my first bloom, sweet pea bloom. And as you can see, all of these little guys right here, these were all gonna be flowers. So as you can see, they're getting really, really tall on this trellis. And they grow actually a foot a week once the sun starts coming out and being like really, really warm and beautiful. So behind them, I have here my tomatoes. These are the blueberry tomatoes that I'm actually now having to I'm going to start using this string. It's kind of a stretchy string to attach them to the trellis so that they will grow up and over the top, so that I can just kind of pick tomatoes too. I'm not sure how well that's going to do with them being right next to the sweet peas, but I'm hopeful. So we've got a yellow cherry tomato here. I think this is like a husky red tomato. Those two I got from Tractor Supply, and this one I grew from seed, which the one I grew from seed is doing even better than the ones that I bought. So again, we got another kale plant. This is a bok choy that I've actually let go to seed because I am going to just save some seeds from those bok choy that my neighbor gave me, and hopefully they'll work out. I've got broccoli here. As you can see, my broccoli is all coming to a head. I can actually come out here and harvest these now if I wanted to, but I've got quite a bit of broccoli happening. So that's enough to make a meal, and I'll probably get a couple of harvests off of just these 4 plants. So this fall I have some that are seeded that are going to be planted more in the garden, so that I'll have more of that. But my cabbages, this is cabbage, a red cabbage. These are collard greens. I actually just picked off the flowers because they were going to seed, and I'm like not done with those yet. I really love having those in soups. But this is another collard plant. I think one of them is, oh no, maybe I might have picked the one that was going to seed. I will let them go to seed as well. This is my Chinese cabbage, and as you can see, the seed pods are getting really, really ripe. So eventually I'm going to be able to open these up, and there'll be a ton of little seeds in just one pod. And so I'll be using that, that as my seed for going forward with my Napa cabbage or Chinese cabbage. Now, check out these peas. Okay, you guys, these are insane. I put this trellis, which is 6 feet tall, in a 2-foot raised bed. So that is 8 feet high up there. 6 feet of growth, but still, or over 6 feet of growth, actually. I mean, really, I guess we'd be looking at, that's probably about 10 feet up there. I'm going to have a ladder to pick all of these peas, but they are going absolutely bonkers. Can you get over this? Aren't they beautiful? Anyway, so that's the King Tut peas that I have there. I have some snow peas on the vine. I've got enough. We've got plenty to have a good afternoon snack with some ranch or whatever. I've got these are the snap peas, the sugar snap peas. So I'm waiting for these to get nice and full so that when I want to snap those, that I can. The strawberry spinach is starting to actually do its thing. These are supposed to get like little red berries, so I'm excited to show you guys that once it's ready. My marigolds are looking lovely, and it looks like I've got my lobelia is starting to bloom in there too. So I did those from seed. We've got some of the the celery, my celery is getting big. It's been loving these long, rainy, cold, like cooler days. So kind of nice. I did a lot of weeding in this bed just a couple days ago. So I got my dill back there. I'd wanted this whole thing to be filled with dill, but I think the birds or something came along and just totally pecked the crap out of it, and it just is not doing so good. Acorn squash and some type of a zucchini squash here that has yellow stripes on the green. I think it's like called Napoli or De Napoli or something. It's like an Italian variety. We've got some sunflowers that are coming up back here, more leeks. We've got basil, and these are my tomato plants, so they're all looking very healthy. Got some Brandywine tomatoes in there, pink Ponderosa, some purple basil. These are more cherry tomato varieties. Again, I bought a couple of these from Tractor Supply, the Husky cherry tomatoes and this one yellow cherry tomato. These are my blueberries. So we'll see how these grow. Not as big as that original blueberries one that I've got, but I've got another one over here. This is another blueberries one that's just the one that I planted on my own from seed, and it is just taking off, just gorgeous. So I think that's a blueberries too. That one's one. And then I planted these purple Russian tomatoes. These are like going to be like a Roma-sized tomato. They're like kind of an oval shape. I've got some peppers that are planted. Some that were from the store that aren't doing nearly as well, again, as the ones that I seeded myself. I don't know if it was just that they were shocked when they got moved or what happened, but I'm finding that things that I seed myself, I don't know, it grows better and has been doing better. So you've got some Thai basil here, again, some opal basil, and we've got some more Dr. Witchy's tomato, pink Ponderosa tomato. And I still have this empty bed that I don't know what I'm going to do. I just have like leftover purple Russian tomato plants that not exactly sure what I'm going to do with them. Hit me up, I guess, if you guys want some tomato plants. Also, the melons, I think they're just waiting on some nice weather. They're trying. They're just hanging on. But I planted them in the house, and I put them out here on a nice day, and they started, getting these leaves. But now they're just like, yeah, it's raining, and I don't know if they like it so much. We've got some cucumbers here. These are going to come up and over this trellis. And I've got my beans, which have already started to climb, which is cool. These are the green pole beans that I have, and then I have some purple potted pole beans. And then I have bush beans. So Red Swan and Blue Lake bush beans are all in here. So hopefully we'll get plenty of beans to sustain us. My other bed is still empty. Still don't know what I'm going to plant in it, but that is where we're at so far. Oh yes, and then over here I have my Brussels sprouts, which I don't know. I'm not like a pro at this, but it looks like they're starting to actually get the Brussels sprouts along the stem, but not exactly sure what's going to happen with those. But I've got some good cabbages in here, so at least I'll get something out of this bed. And I also have seeded more Brussels sprouts for later. My potato plants, as you can see, those are getting big. I've got more zucchini here. I think this is the white scallop squash kind of variety. They're like those little ones. They look like a scallop squash. I forget, patty pan squash, yellow zucchini squash, and green zucchini squash. So, and then I just had an extra one of those Napoli ones that actually germinated. So I was just like, well, I'll move it over here. It might get a little crowded, but I'm okay with that. I think they'll be fine. And then I've got over on the other side of the fence there, that big thing was that rhubarb that I got from my neighbor, and also the asparagus. You can kind of see in that where the log is, there's like this green stuff right here, and that is my asparagus coming up. Can't eat that for 3 years though, so we'll just have to wait on that. And then over here, I've got my chamomile is growing. I grew this from seed. It's just totally taking off. Got cherry rose nasturtium growing kind of within it. Some thyme that I pulled off of my other thyme plant. I'm going to have to probably whack this back. I guess that chamomile is quite invasive, similar to my lemon balm, which is beautiful right now. I got a couple basil plants that I just plopped in because I didn't have any other areas really that I wanted them. And I've got some garlic chives. Oh, and this over here, these are going to be echinacea. That's what I have growing here. So then I've also got my calendula in a little cute little pot that I got from Tractor Supply. And my lobelia is starting to bloom. So I can't wait for some sunny days, and these things will just pop open and start looking really, really beautiful. So that is that. That is the garden tour. Here we are, and it is, what, mid-June already. It's kind of crazy that it's already mid-June, but that is her, that she be. So go ahead and just leave me any questions if you have any. I am just loving my garden, so hope you all enjoy it too. And you can, if you aren't gardening yourself, maybe this will inspire you, or you can at least live a little vicariously through what I've got going on. Have a good day. Bye.